So what is it? It's always a subject that I'm interested in, founder buyouts. What's going on? Are there new trends? Are there particulars that people need to be aware of that they're not aware of?
Yes, I think probably the biggest one is this collective denial that baby boomers are facing, that they're getting older, and at some point they're coming out of their business, either feet first or head first, as we like to say. And unfortunately, too many of them are setting themselves up to leave feet first.
You mean they're not planning properly?
They're not planning properly, and part of the challenge is that they have partners. And I don't care whether they're stockholders, other investors, we'll just call them partners to make it easy. And those other people who are vested in the company have their own life cycle issues they're dealing with. What do you do when one of them, who may not be the one in the company, could be someone on the outside, wants to get out? Now the person who's still in the company doesn't have a clear mechanism for what to do. The discussion can come up when something bad has happened and you're in a reactive mode, or it could come up when good things are happening at the company and you're planning to grow the company, continue to reinvest money in the company, and one of your major partners says, excuse me, I'd like to get bought out. So the people who are trying to plan and run the company are all of a sudden faced with having to redirect their efforts, redirect capital to buying out a partner that really they would prefer not to be doing right now. And of course, the time and attention and difficulties that negotiating terms with a partner can bring are very distracting.
Interesting. Mark?
So let's say I'm a partner in a business and I've got 3 other partners, and let's say hypothetically I'm 64 years old.
He represents that remark.
And and there's no agreement that speaks to transitioning a partnership. What should I be doing?
Well, I would always advocate bringing Jeff in to foster the discussions and get things rolling. But seriously,
You must be a lousy salesman because that's never happened.
Given that scenario, Mark, which is pretty common, you want to take control of your destiny. And the best time to do planning isn't when there's a storm going on around you. It's when things are reasonably clear. My suggestion would always be to set up a mechanism to have these conversations. So assuming that you find yourself with a business that's going along, either performing well or not performing well, recognizing that everybody's getting older and that there's a life cycle to their investment as well as yours, try to foster some mechanism for having that discussion. Now, you may or may not have these people on the board. It really is at the investor level. We find a big part of how our firm works is that the indirect levels of communication between people can actually be the most effective way to foster difficult discussions. That means spending time with each other socially, maybe going out to eat or having a cold adult beverage, where people begin to relax and talk a little more openly about what their concerns really are. So trying to create an environment where you can have that discussion. Bringing in outside help can be useful for that. The challenge is for actually documenting one of these things, if you have people who are ready to talk about it, is timing, price, terms, and then cash, coming up with the price. That's not an easy thing to do. And